Hi everyone, Matthew here with Roddy. We're here to talk about our most recent whisky tasting, which happened on Friday. This was an in-person only, and it was a mystery malts tasting. So we opened a case of the mystery malts. Sarah, Peter and Shane went away and discreetly tasted them all, put them in the correct order, arguably. and then we tasted them all blind at the tasting, which was fascinating. Wasn't it, Roddy?
It was a lot of fun, and I think the fact that Matt and I were also tasting them blind made it more interesting for me, at least. And I think people accepted that we were tasting them blind because in terms of the score, I got 1 right out of 6.
I got 2 right.
Matthew got 2 right out of 6. So people were persuaded that we were genuinely taking part in the process. I did, at the start of the tasting, lay the groundwork for me and Matt not doing well. I mean, I think the top score was 4.
Was that Andrew? Andrew got 4.
Yeah, out of 6, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Matt and I didn't do quite so well. But I laid the groundwork for us failing to figure out what we were tasting with a couple of quotes, which I'm now going to read to you. So this book is Emile Peynaud, The Taste of Wine.
Roddy loves this book.
Well, it's an important book if you are a booze professional, perhaps less so these days because it's rather dated now, but very influential in its day, talking about how to be systematic in your approach to tasting things and figuring out what it is that you're tasting. He does say, in the context of blind tastings, he has a very good quote from a fellow wine professional, Michael Broadbent, who says of blind tasting, it is my firm opinion that to assess the qualities of a wine, but obviously the blind part of it can be applied to any liquid, to assess the qualities of a wine by tasting it completely blind without any hint of what it might be is the most useful and salutary discipline that any self-respecting taster can be given. It is not infrequently the most humiliating, which was certainly the case for Matt and I, the experts, the alleged experts on Friday night. We did not lead the field, but that didn't matter because it was so much fun to be going around talking to everybody, speculating about what it was that we were tasting. I thought I was off to a good start because the first whiskey that we tasted, I'm going to hold up these bottles as if it makes a difference. You know, we've labelled them to show which one was which, but obviously they're identical. But the first bottle that we tasted was the Dornoch 5-year-old, a vatting of from 3 casks. And I think one of the great things about this series for me is that it's made Dornoch, the liquid itself, more accessible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Dornoch's like hen's teeth to get.
Yes.
And this has been such a, I think really, I mean, when we spoke to Phil when he was in the shop talking about the idea behind the mystery malts, he was saying that, they wanted people to feel that every bottle had value to it, and that every single bottle was £65, every single bottle is 48.5%, but obviously the bottles are, they vary between the different distilleries. And they wanted people to be able to discover new distilleries, so you had a chance to try things you probably might not have a chance to try, and then give those distilleries a chance next time round. Mm-hmm. So it's like giving people a shop window to see what might be out there, or discover distilleries they've not tried before. Mm-hmm. And I think that was what was so exciting about what we did. Be able to taste everything blind, and people wildly making various speculations as to what the distillery might be, and so many of us being wildly wrong. But that idea that some of these whiskies could be there, dram number 2, 3 people thought it was 28-year-old Nc'nean. when it was actually a 2-year-old Nc'nean.
Yeah, no, a 5-year-old Nc'nean.
Sorry, 5-year-old Nc'nean.
Yeah, only two out of 31 thought it was the Nc'nean. But that's a testament to the quality of the liquid that at 5 years old it's mature enough tasting that there's people, there's a total of 13 people think it's well into its second decade. You can see that I was having a bit of trouble with keeping up with the scoring system, where there's quite a few things where I've had to make corrections. But it was, we know everybody in the room was having a lot of fun. I think at that point, when we were all casting our votes and being triumphant or crestfallen. I think it was really interesting from my own point of view to taste a few things that perhaps in the official bottlings I've been less enthused about, and then this has forced me to revisit them and think maybe there's more to them than I've given them credit for in the past. Yeah. Certainly that was the case with the Torabhaig, which I know that having been there,
I've been there.
You are more enthusiastic about it than me, but I enjoyed it a lot on Friday, so I need to revisit Torabhaig and
certainly Torabhaig was number 5. 5 people voted for it, but 12 people thought it was a 16-year-old Ardbeg.
It's a testament to the quality of the liquid.
Absolutely. 8 people thought it was an 11-year-old Caol Ila. So that goes to show the quality, exactly the quality of the liquid, and I thought that was amazing. And obviously I got it wrong. And then when I went back to it, I was like, obviously it's Torabhaig.
Aye.
It's amazing what knowledge gives you.
But this brings me to the other little snippet that I dug out, which is to do with the idea that if you don't know what you're drinking, it's so easy to convince yourself that it's exactly what you know it to be. So this is from Rabelais, the Gargantua and Pantagruel from the 16th century, and there's a little episode in that where the party is given water to drink, but before they're given it, the priestess Bakbuk says to them, "Bakbuk told us a long time ago, a Hebrew captain leading his people through the desert in a state of famine obtained manna from heaven, which their hunger led them to imagine tasted like the meat they used to eat. The same applies here," she continued. "As you sip this wonderful water, you will taste whatever wine you care to call to mind. Now, use your imaginations and drink." Panurge exclaimed, "By Jove, this is Burgundy, and better than any I ever tasted before." "Well I'll be," cried Brother Jean, "this is a fine and lively Bordeaux." "To me it's Minervois," said Pantagruel, "because that is what I thought of before drinking." Bakbuk spoke again. "Drink, drink, once, twice, thrice, and by changing your minds you will taste whichever flavour or liquor you have thought of." Now obviously at the end of the event, or after we tasted all these things and gone through this imaginative process, then we did the reveal, and then we talked about the distilleries in turn, and as you said, Matt, you revisited the Torabhaig and were able to convince yourself that yes, of course it was Torabhaig, but it's such a fun game to play. And the way that the Thompson Brothers have presented this, it's possible that you're able to do this sort of thing. We know that there's been a couple of whisky clubs that we've sold whisky to have done or will be doing the same sort of thing. So we still have a handful of bottles left. Probably by the time we've posted this video, they'll be gone. But there will be another batch coming out. So. We'd urge you to seek one out and play the game yourself, because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And if you're very lucky, you'll get a 29-year-old Leipzig or a 28-year-old Nc'nean. But even if you don't, you'll have a fantastic 7-year-old Torabhaig that might be an Ardbeg, or you'll get a Glenlivet that tastes decades older than its official statement.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
the quality of the liquid.
It's great. I really enjoyed every single dram, and I would hope we could do another tasting like this at some point. Don't want to do it every time because you just overdo it, but it'd be nice to come back and do this because I think that mystery, the blind tasting, was such a lot of fun. So, we could maybe do it in our own tastings. Introduce one or two blind things. Yeah,
we might do that. Maybe not.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, right, folks. And it was a great fun. So if you weren't there, then do try and book in for another tasting in the future because they're always great. All right, folks.
Sayonara.
Cheers.